What he's saying is that basically people don't believe in the benefits of globalization as such.
No, don't misunderstand. He said 2016.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
So basically, that's when.
What does it mean 2016?
What it means? That's when Trump was elected, right?
Yeah. He's talking about Trump.
Yeah. But actually, and he's basically okay. Why is Trump elected? Because people don't believe in globalization anymore. That the world is the benefits of globalization.
He just says straight way, American way versus globalization. It's different. He's just using nationalism.
No. Wait. Okay, now he's going to talk about China and the benefits of nationalism in China. 1 second.
So that story was actually a very effective story. It worked. To some extent, yes. I mean, according to some measurements, we are now in the best time ever for humankind. Today, for the first time in history, more people die from eating too much than from eating too little, which is an amazing achievement. Also, for the first time in history, more people die from old age than from infectious diseases. And violence is also down. For the first time in history, more people commit suicide than are killed by crime and terrorism and war put together. Statistically, you are your own worst enemy. At least from all the people in the world, you're most likely to be killed by yourself. Which is, again, very good news compared to the level of violence that we saw in previous eras.
But this process of connecting the world ended up with a large group of people kind of feeling left out. And they've reacted, and so we have this bomb.
He's talking about killed by themselves. Suicide, right? Suicide population is larger than violence.
So no, basically what he's saying is, okay, globalization has brought us a lot of prosperity, but actually he takes it with a grain of salt. So our achievements are okay. So we achieved something. Globalization has achieved something, but we also there are a lot of negative things that we cannot ignore.
He's talking about the figures is too much exaggerated. Suicide, more violence is more big figures than suicide. He said suicide.
No, but also overeating and everything else included.
But overeating included. How does we going to figure out this is true or not?
I hope I hope he's not right. No.
Human being is
obese
okay. Human being extend to dying ages reaching to 100 years old instead of 80 years old. This is longer longevity now. He just exaggerating that expression.
It
Everybody like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
But I don't like it.
That's sort of rippling through the whole system. I mean, how do you make of what's happened? It feels like the old way that people thought of politics, the left-right divide, has been blown up and replaced. How should we think of this?
Yeah, the old 20th century political model of left versus right is now largely irrelevant. And the real divide today is between global and national, or global or local. And you see it, again, all over the world.
This is what he just kind of type of person he tried to sell. He tried to sell himself, right? But still worldly left and right. Instead of what he's talking about, local and global, no.
Well,
this is now the main struggle.
No, that's not true. I mean, no.
You are too much influenced guy.
No, but I mean, you can see everywhere that like we have Labour and we have Conservative, and what is the biggest vote collector? The Brexit Party.
No.
Oh no! So this is exactly what's happening.
No, Brexit is a different story.
No, that's not a different story.
Not this case is a famous story.
This is national versus global.
No.
Yes.
No, Brexit
this is exactly what's happening.
Brexit is a special case, not national global. Brexit is a different background.
No, you cannot.
This is Islam. Brexit is Islam.
No.
Not global or national.
National versus global.
If you go into the local town in Britain, more Islam people occupy the city, not London. This is just.
It's not true.
Brexit is.
Go to the countryside in England. You cannot find any Muslims hardly.
No. Many Muslims.
No.
Many Muslims. That's the reason why.
The Muslims live in London. They live in Liverpool. They live in Manchester.
You don't understand. That's the reason why.
I don't understand. I've been in England. You have never been in England.
No. That's the reason why Brexit party won. No, I'm true.
Sorry, but this is absolutely not
Brexit.
true. No, this is not true.
No, you just looking for the YouTube later.
Uno-san.
I'm true.
No, I want to make a bet with you. I want to make a bet with you. You cannot make these loose claims. It's absolutely not true. There are no Muslims do not live in the countryside.
I can show you the proof, but not now. Let's go and step forward.
No, I want to see, because you're making these kinds of claims. It's nonsense.
No, it's easy. I'm going to show you. Brexit, I studied a lot.
So you're saying more immigrants are living in countryside than that live in London?
That's the reason why the Brexit party won. North Asia?
It's not because they live there. It's because people voted there. You make the wrong connection.
No, this one is upper, right?
Well, anyway, let's make this homework for next week.
Oh, next week? Okay, next week. Brexit I did Wednesday night.
Yeah. Well, I'm 100% sure that there are not living more immigrants in the countryside than there live in.
You can have a look YouTube, a couple of those. You can figure out which one. I forget that where. This one? No, this one?
No, not Facebook. It is not Chrome. It is. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's not. How can you think that there are living more immigrants in the countryside than there live in the cities?
I viewed many YouTube.
Well,
and I read many articles.
It is
and
total.
I did 3 weeks Wednesday night, program. I did.
You draw the wrong conclusion.
So I just I prepared lots of material. Okay, you need to study. Just like that Apple same.
No, you were wrong, Bisho.
No, not wrong. This
you
actually,
were wrong.
No. Actually, 2.5 million software development iOS operating system.
No.
If China is going to stop it, this iOS system.
They don't work for Apple.
No, Apple is included.
No,
Apple included iOS.
You still don't get it. It's not. They are. The argument is that 2.5 Chinese are making apps on top of the Apple iOS system. They don't work for Apple iOS at all.
No. They are involving.
No.
iOS is OS, right? Smartphone OS.
Yeah, but if you make an app, you put it in the App Store. It doesn't mean that you work for Apple.
Apple OS is what they are using for their OS.
iOS.
iOS, right?
Yes, but you have the app developers. They don't work for Apple.
China.
They work independently. They can put them in the store.
Yeah, China OS is they're not using iOS.
No, Apple. Every Apple device uses iOS. Apple telephone uses iOS, and an app that you can buy in the store that is made by external developers. So they make apps that people who have an iPhone can use, but they are not employed by Apple.
No. I'm talking about they stop using iOS because Apple will going to be bankrupt.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with 2.5 million people.
No, they lose a lot of people losing jobs.
You said there were 2.5 million people working on iOS. That's not true.
There are people working for iOS, right?
No, they're making apps.
Yeah, they are.
They're not working for Apple. They're making.
Not working Apple. iOS operating system.
Yeah, but so it doesn't affect anybody using an iPhone in the United States or in
I-
Europe
I-
or
iPhone.
everywhere else in the world.
Software developers, a very big impact by if Apple
No.
bankrupt.
No.
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 Why?
No,
Apple is
they make applications that you can buy in the
Are they not
App Store.
Oh, I tell you, they not modify iOS for Apple?
No,
No, not modify iOS
no,
for
they just make software on top of it.
No, they are adding for additional software.
Digital means just application.
Yeah,
Yeah, the application.
just an app.
Okay, 2.5 people is developing iOS software. It means,
But that is just application developers.
yeah, but if Apple bankrupted and 2.5 million software developers are impacted by Apple bankruptcy, right?
Oh, that's just Chinese, but that's a different argument.
No, this is
No,
what
you
I'm
say
talking about.
2.5 million people are working for Apple. Software developers are
No,
working
no,
for
no,
Apple.
no,
No, they're
no,
not
no,
working
no,
for
no,
Apple.
no, iOS system. But
No, not iOS system.
Apple bankrupted,
They're making
and many people impacted by 2.5
yes,
million.
but Chinese. The rest of the world wouldn't mind about it at all. It's only Chinese people who will probably develop apps on different kinds of platforms, maybe in China.
Huawei's smartphone, they are not using iOS operation system, right?
Right. So basically, but it means that 2.5 million Chinese software
By
developers.
the way, iOS operating system, which company is using for that?
Only Apple.
Only Apple.
iOS
Yes,
operating system?
only Apple.
So this is the layer on top of which Chinese software developers are making apps that they're trying to sell via the App Store. So they're just third-party vendors who are using the iOS system to make their apps
I
and
don't
sell their
understand
apps.
well. If Apple bankrupted, still 2.5 iOS operating system developers, engineers
No.
survive?
They are not iOS. So there's a difference between an iOS developer. So basically, what you're talking about is
Maybe I misunderstand.
you misunderstood.
And iOS operating system is used by Apple, right?
Yes, it's made
Um,
by Apple, but there are no Chinese developers who are developing, or at least not 2.5 million. iOS is, let's say, for argument's sake, it's made in the United States. But there are, everywhere in the world, there are people who are making apps. So if you want to download an app on your smartphone, it can be made in China. It can be made, but it's not iOS. That's just an app that sits on top of the iOS. So if all the Chinese apps are taken out of the store, the rest of the world is not going to notice any difference because they can still buy any other apps from other developers. So the operating system itself is not affected at all. But it's the apps that sit in the App Store that will be affected. So the Chinese developers, if they close the Apple devices, for example, in China, it will be a very significant impact for the app developers, but not for the iOS operating system.
So Apple is bankrupted and 2.5 million engineers can survive?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because they will develop the Android applications or
No
other
problem.
applications.
No problem.
Not only iOS.
Yes, yes.
No problem.
So those
Because
2.5
people still use
okay, I understand.
smartphones.
Now is actually 2.5 million is involved in iOS operating system, but
So they use it.
Apple is bankrupted, but those people with different system development
Right.
instead of iOS.
So they use it, they don't make it. That's
okay.
that's the difference.
Okay,
They use
but a fairly amount of people will lose job, right?
I think that people still will use smartphones.
Mm.
So
But Huawei, they are not using iOS system.
They would try to make a new OS.
No, currently, so far they are using iOS.
Huawei is using the Android OS.
Android, yeah,
Android.
but actually there is an issue with Android because Android, Google may no longer supply their Android to Huawei, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
Google is, but I don't clearly understand. iOS system, operating system, Google are relating to?
Android is
Yes.
Made by the Google, but nowadays
iOS is different.
Open.
iOS is different.
Different.
iOS is only for Apple, and Android is for
So
Huawei and
it
others.
means 2.5 people engineers involved in iOS, but iOS is disappeared. But 2.5 million software engineers they try to looking for the like a Google package something else
or
okay.
other.
Okay, I understand.
Because actually Huawei is in trouble, not because of iOS, but because of Android. Because Google is no longer
Exactly
allowed
right.
to supply Android on the Huawei.
Huawei only has their own OS, but this is effective only China.
But so far, they always used Android. Eh? They always use Android.
No. Huawei can survive their own OS in China, but they cannot sell the software to Europe.
They need to. Yeah.
It's different.
They cannot. Basically, cannot sell their.
Because
European
my problem is if they cannot use Google software because they cannot use Gmail, so they can sell software to Europe.
Right.
It's about 20 years ago, Chinese government make a Linux OS named Dead Flag Linux.
Red flag? Really?
Yes. Like a red cap.
Red hat. Yeah.
Red flag.
Red hat.
Red flag Linux.
Red flag. Red hat.
Why red flag mean? China?
China. Red flag. Red hat. Red flag.
Also, we have red hat, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, let's go on.
Yeah.
We probably need completely new political models and completely new ways of thinking about politics. In essence, what you can say is that we now have global ecology, we have a global economy, but we have national politics, and
So
this doesn't.
That's the
That
point.
is
Together. This makes the political system ineffective because
This
it
is
has
not
no
true. It
control
doesn't work together,
over
he
the
said,
forces
right?
that shape our life.
So
It does work together.
it's not effective.
No, he said this one is jumping.
But we have national politics, and this doesn't work together.
This is jumping, logical jumping.
Why?
Work together, it's no problem.
Global economy, but we have
explain
national
that,
politics, and this doesn't work.
Okay, national politics and globalism is coordinate each other. Doesn't work. Work together. You should work together. Okay, national politics and globalism is get together.
How?
Because state is nationalism, not globalism. Country by country, their government policy.
Yeah, but if every country say America first, Japan first, China first.
No. This is different. America first is different. This is not nationalism. This is Trumpism.
It's national. Well,
No.
but we see
Nationalism
it
is-
everywhere.
No, nationalism is sovereignty.
Yeah, but it's the same with the UK now.
No. Sovereignty. Sovereignty is their own national policy for climate change.
Their own national interest goes first.
Of course,
right?
of course.
So this kind of nationalism is making it more difficult to create.
No, this cannot get
agreements.
together well. He said this does not work together. No, it should work together.
Yeah, but what
We can. This is the current world also 10 years later, 100 years later, the same. British. Their country not disappear. America, Japan is Japan. Okay?
But why do you think that is absolutely necessary? That it's always British? Because it's not always been British.
Even if
All these
just
countries-
just EU, how come 10 years later they just by country sovereignty they
Why
exist?
not? Why not?
And this continue next 100 years.
No. I mean, this is
nationalism.
But if you're always talking about history, right? If we look at history,
In
country
future-
borders has been changing all the time.
No, there's just past 10 years, next 10 years, 100 years later. The
Why
same.
wouldn't it change?
No. Nationality will not disappear.
Why not?
Nationality never disappear.
Why not?
It disappear? This
Yes.
is just.
Why not? It has been. This is the reality in
You
the world.
mean eliminate globalism? No, I can't believe it.
Why not?
I can't believe it. Like a Bangladesh, people get together with Japanese. Unbelievable.
Bangladesh country only exists like 50, 60 years.
Yeah, but the color is different.
I don't think-
America is one good example. America, black people, white people never get together. Never.